See, those would be nice things to have, in my opinion.
What?
On a phone would be like have paradigms where you can, I know Peggy typed them up. But they're in English. They're English pronunciation. See, those would be nice things to have, in my opinion.
You need me to do that for
But you're absolutely right that, I mean, yesterday I spent time just trying to remember all these things. I came up with a paradigm for the plural. I don't know if I want to say it over YouTube, but it helps me remember it. On the plural for the feminine. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah.
But I remember it that way real easily. It's just that I don't know if I'm going to repeat it on YouTube.
Yeah, we're not worried about that. I'm going to pull up.
But it helps me remember it. You want me to tell you?
Go ahead.
I own a nice ass.
Okay.
And just remember how to change the word, the ending, right? But it just helps me remember it. It's just one of those, oh, it does. Sounds just like that.
It does. I notice that every time we say it. Yeah.
Ass.
Mm-hmm. So,
That's so cool.
did you get it? I own.
Nice.
Yeah.
A nice ass.
What?
He said I own. I own. I own. It's like I own. Yeah. There you go. So he says it.
She thought that was way funnier than you did.
Hey, there was
Or she's just more comfortable laughing.
I have to have my wife validate that though, but you know. So.
Yeah. We had a friend here in our church passed away a few years ago, and he sat in on some Greek classes we did here at church, or he was participating in these Greek classes we were doing at church years ago, and he came across a textbook, and I couldn't tell you what it is, but the guy had all these crazy mnemonic devices for remembering paradigms and vocabulary terms, little ditty songs and all kinds of stuff like this. And I should get a hold of his wife. She doesn't live here now. She's moved in the last year over to the Oregon coast. But I should get a hold of her and see if they still have that book and see if I could find the name of it. It might be helpful for some people. You do whatever you have to do to learn words. Whatever it takes, whatever your brain works for your brain in remembering stuff, that's what you have to do, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to pull up our paradigms, and we're going to go through those very quick. Or, as I noticed, I always call them paradigms. I noticed last night when we were listening to Dan Wallace, he calls them paradigms, which I've heard people say that too, but he's an expert. He's a scholar, Greek scholar. I am not, so we can defer to him in that way. But anyway, if we have first declension then, and our stem ends in epsilon, iota, rho, what are the singular first declension feminine endings? Let's go through endings. Our endings.
As,
On.
So let's go through them. Let's repeat those again. Okay, ready? On.
On.
As, on. I was counting out 5 on my hand. I was keeping track. I think we actually maybe get 6. But again, like I said, that repetition that seems very tedious is very helpful. So if our stem ends in sigma, double lambda, or one of the double consonants, it's zeta, psi, psi, our endings then are
ace,
okay.
Ace, a, on. Ace, a, on. Ace, a, on. Ace, a, on.
There we go. Okay.
You can't listen.
You can't listen?
Yeah. I'm just going to be.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's fine. if it has any other stem endings, then it's
A.
ace, ain, ace, ain, ace, ain, ace, ain, ace, ain.
all right. Good job. And I was quiet that time so that they could hear you, Joe. So everybody
Okay.
now gets to hear that one.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. And then what is our the unchanging? What are the first declension feminine plural endings?
I own ice, us. I own ice, us. I own ice, us. I own ice, us. I own ice, us.
Forgot second or first declension masculine
Oh,
endings.
we can go to those. We can go to
I
those.
thought we were doing a singular.
Okay. So now we'll go to the masculine endings. Okay. So
I
now
hate these
why is that?
because they stink.
Okay.
They're
Different.
different. They're different.
Okay. So give me the masculine endings.
Ace.
Us.
Uh-oh.
No.
A.
Here, let's
Ace.
pull it up down here. There's the masculine endings right there.
Oh, masculine endings.
First declension.
First declension masculine
Okay.
singular.
Ace, ain. Ace, ain. Ace, ain. Ace, ain. Ace, ain. Ace, ain.
Very go.
Vocative is ah.
That's right. And I don't know if you're doing it, but as I said, it would be a really good idea to just run through all of those in your out loud, not just in your head, run them through them out loud during your day when you have opportunities. So,
Basically, the way I remember that is I start my bases off of just the normal feminine that are not with the different endings, and remember that everything's usually with an A. Like the eta is a primary. Then in the masculine singular, the only thing that changes basically is primarily is a genitive and appellative to oo, just like the regular masculine.
Yep. Okay. So having reviewed that, we're going to put into our workbook. Here we go.
Workbook.
So we are on sentence number 4. And
It comes out of the Bible.
it does. In fact, I'm not for sure, but I think we looked at this one last week. I didn't look at this one because I thought I had us look it up in our Bibles and actually use this as an example. I had it written down in my handwritten notes for what we covered, but it doesn't make any difference. Okay. So today we'll start with Robin. If you read that for us.
Okay. Ean tais glossis ton anthropon lalo kai ton angelon agapen de me echo.
Okay. So how would you translate?
So I translated that to, if I speak in the tongues of men and angels, but do not have love.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so now let's walk through the other things.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, need to put the tongues of men and of angels together and then I speak, or if I speak, just as long as tongues of men and angels are together in the English.
Yes,
Does
in
not-
English, it's in English. Yeah.
Yeah. I did
In
this.
Greek,
Wait a minute.
in Greek they can interpose the verb there, but in English, in Greek it's interposed. In English, we would put it then I speak with or in or by means of the tongue. I should have checked this in our English Bibles to see predominantly how they handle I'm not going to say what the form is, but tais glossis, whether they translate that in, with, or by. Probably, I think with is probably the dominant way they do it because it's kind of modern English.
Which would be instrumental.
I would say it is instrumental.
That's the next question. That was what I said.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question before on the sentence? Because that article is in front of the aeon, do we pronounce the first A? No.
Huh?
Like aeon, or is it just aeon?
It's just aeon. It's just one word. Okay. And
Oh, because in my book it has a article in front of the A, you know, where they delete the
Oh, it has an apostrophe before.
apostrophe right there before the aeon.
See?
But is that
The
supposed to be?
apostrophe before the epsilon.
Is it supposed to be a smooth breathing mark over
Oh,
the
that's
epsilon?
that's supposed to be a smoothing breathing mark. So it's a typographic error. That should be over the top of the epsilon.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure they made some improvements when they fixed that, but when they redid the textbook, but sometimes anyway.
Is yours right?
Yeah, mine is correct. Yeah.
And did they not capitalize the epsilon in yours?
No.
Yeah. Why did they capitalize? Because it's like the only sentence that they put a capital letter in the beginning of the sentence.
Okay. I don't know. It's not capitalized in the textbook either. So at least it's not in the version I have, my Kindle version of it. Let me take a look at the book itself.
Sorry.
Not in.
No, it's not capitalized in the textbook either. Okay.
Okay, is glossized dative locative instrumental? I said instrumental. Doesn't ask me to defend myself.
So
But it does tell you the thing that's important always.
Context, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we were going to make it locative, it could be locative or instrumental. We could say both of them in the tongues, because that's how I translated it. If I speak in the tongues of men, but if I read that, I don't think inside their tongues.
Right. So probably even when you're saying in the tongues, you're really
It's not.
you're using in an instrumental sense,
Right, it's not
a
located.
location.
Yeah. Okay.
By means of the tongue.
Do we need to go over B because it doesn't have a question?
Just info.
Oh, see, mine has two questions there. Mine says, which words demonstrate possession in this sentence?
Oh, yeah, we
What?
don't have that question.
Okay.
Which words demonstrate possession? Well, I would guess it's the nouns of men and of angels.
Correct. And what case would that be then that indicates possession?
Genitive.
Okay. There we go. I wonder why they dropped.
Nice.
Wonder why they dropped that in the new workbook.
And then our last question is may is used to negate the verbs in moods other than those in the indicative. Oh, there's not actually a
There's
question.
not a
Do you have a
question.
question?
Do you have a question?
No.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
May is used to.
So,
negate-
Joe, if you would read sentence number 5 for us in Greek, and then you can.
Okay. Ha prophetes didaskai ereinen kai alethean.
Alethian.
Okay, alethian, right?
The epsilon iota is like I and
I have a problem with that for some reason. Alethian. Okay. Alethian.
My wife is a preeminent school teacher for grade school kids. You don't give the answer, you ask them to redo it. And I always forget to do that. Okay,
I translated it as the prophet is teaching peace and truth.
Okay,
or
good.
Or teaches.
Or teaches, yes. Yeah, depends on the emphasis you're giving to the, in context, the emphasis that is given to the didaskalos.
Right.
Okay,
Then the question is ha prophetes best translated as a prophet or the prophet. On what base? And I put the prophet because of the article is present. So ha, tells it. I put the. That's why I did that.
Very
It's a
good.
definite article. Right?
Yeah.
And then dissect and parse didaskai. Part of speech is verb, present tense, active voice, indicative mood, third person singular number. Lexical form is didasko. Stem is didask. Ending is I. And connecting vowel is the epsilon, and subject is prophetes.
Okay.
Then locate Irene. It's part of speech noun, accusative case, singular number. I didn't put anything for function. I don't know why. Gender, masculine, declension. Lexical form is wait a second, what did I put here?
Okay, let's go back to gender for a minute.
Gender?
Yeah,
Oh, it's feminine.
feminine. Okay.
Yeah. I think I started, this was where I was getting really late. And somehow I wrote the wrong word now. So anyway, lexical form is Irene. Is that right? Hold on.
Okay.
No?
If you remember, if you go back to if we go back to our endings, we go back to singular endings, and these are the ones that you were just saying, you just do them with the eta. They would be, how would we go through that, the paradigm for the first declension feminine singular endings?
First declension is feminine singular endings. Okay, Irena.
Irene.
Irene. Okay, Irene.
Okay.
And the declension is first.
Mhm.
And I left function in the sentence blank. I don't know why. It's probably, would that be the indirect object, the accusative? Or not? I don't know.
It would be direct object.
Direct object?
Direct
Okay.
object.
Okay.
That answers the question what? There, the
Right.
prophet teaches what? Peace.
Okay.
Good. Peggy Ann.
Is it my turn?
No.
It's Peggy's turn.
Okay.
Genoskai ha mathetes hamartian kai legai lagustes basileias. The disciple, he knows sin, and he speaks words about the kingdom.
Okay.
The subject of Genoskai is he. The subject,
And more specifically,
disciple, fine.
good. No, that's fine. He's fine. I'm just trying to.
Legai, he, the disciple.
Okay.
Hold on, let me write that. Okay. The various uses of kai will be discussed in lesson 13. What part of speech is kai? We already answered this in the previous page. What I wrote, I already answered this. It's conjunction, what's your function? Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's why I felt that.
How can you be sure that basileias is genitive, ablative, singular, feminine, rather than accusative, plural, feminine? Because the definite article taste.
Right there. The definite article.
Writing the wrong grammatical
So we have
terms.
Okay. So
I'm done.
She's done then.
I'm done.
okay.
So can we go back to the sentence? The
Okay.
disciple knows about sin, knows sin. What did you say?
Oh, I just have no
You know, sin. Yeah, that's what I said.
Because that's-
And speaks, so you said about the kingdom, right?
Yes.
Which I have written also, but does kingdom words work? Because I also wrote that, speaks kingdom words, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
But you know what? You're going to have places where you have genitives that modify words, and it comes out like that. We have a number of places in the New Testament where we have the word law and then righteousness, and it's law is in the genitive case, and I translate it a law righteousness. So it's telling you it's that what kind of words? It's kingdom words. What kind of righteousness? A law righteousness, things like that. So yeah, so I think that's an acceptable way to translate it.
Except for that there's the definite article there. And so
And
speaks the kingdom words, I guess.
right, and that is the situation in which that's the reason why it's probably better in this context without any other context to tell us what's going on. Yes.
Okay.
And the other thing is, it says when they know sin, just to point out a vocabulary detail that, I mean, not all Greek people are agreed on this, but gnosko, distinct from oida, gnosko would be experientially knows. So the disciple has an experiential knowledge of sin. It's not just book knowledge. Okay.
Disciple is a sinner.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Okay. So
7. Apostolos graphai to oiku te ecclesia. And I translated that to the apostle is writing from the house to the church, which I thought was very strange.
okay. What?
He writes about the house, like he's describing the house.
Okay, that's a possibility.
That works.
That's a possibility. When we talk about house, what's one of the within the range of meanings for the word oikos? What's one of the
Building.
okay? There's a building, but also a
Location.
what did you say, Joe?
I said a location. It's
Okay.
like from a house, right?
Okay.
English, I can't even do English words now.
I don't know English for anything
Okay.
other than house.
Tim, Peg, Kate, and
Family.
a family, a household. So you can use oikos of a household. So it could be that he's writing from the household to the church.
Wait, what?
So you could be saying the apostle writes from the household, that the letter is from us. So it would be an odd way of saying it's from all of us over here, from our family to yours. Some people say that, from our family to yours.
Peg doesn't like
That would be in the context, right? Probably the heading, you'll know where he's at and how he's.
Yes.
Okay, so to oku. That's neuter.
to oiku.
To.
Genitive.
Genitive ablative.
It's genitive ablative, but oikos is masculine.
So
Okay, okay.
genitive would be it's describing something, but if it's genitive, doesn't it function more like an adjective?
Mm-hmm. Yes, even when it indicates possession, you're describing the thing as belonging to a person.
And there is no accusative noun in this sentence,
No.
which was what really threw me. So that's why
So
it's not genitive,
this
because
is
there's nothing for it to describe.
this is a really good sentence. This is really good sentence to demonstrate that you really need context to understand how to oiku is being used. Without any context, my inclination is to say the apostle is take to oiku in a genitive sense And to say the apostle writes, I would say about the house to the church, which is that the way they indicated?
They're doing ablative.
Yeah.
Oh, they take it. So from the house, which
I was just thinking about Paul being in a certain place or whatever, right? And he was at a location in Rome, and he was writing from his house where he was imprisoned.
right.
So I was thinking that's how I took it. But again, it's context.
Yeah. And see, and again, without context, if you take it in an ablative sense, I would probably rather understand oikos than to be the household. He's writing from the household, that is from the household where I am with the people I'm with to the church, wherever that church happens to be.
From us to y'all.
Something like that. Okay, so
Okay, note the identical stem graph in the words graphi and graphane. Contrast these two words. So graphi is a verb meaning he writes, and graphane is a noun meaning a writing.
okay. Very good.
Is oiku genitive singular masculine or ablative singular masculine? And I said ablative because because I couldn't figure out how to make it genitive.
Process of deduction.
Is te ecclesia?
And I'm just going to
Yeah,
add,
go ahead.
my workbook says, how can you be sure?
Oh, mine does too.
Yeah.
And we,
That's what
So
I
we already
said.
went through this. If it's genitive, it's about,
yeah.
or it could go ablative.
What's the one thing we don't have to help us? We
Context.
don't have context.
Yeah. So is te ecclesia dative, locative, or instrumental? I said dative. Explain the significance of this case. It's the case of reception. So who's receiving the writing?
Okay. Joe, sentence number.
Okay, number 8. Oi, weoi, ginoskosin, tain, entolain, kai, legosin, parabolin, to, haklo. The sons know the commandment and are speaking or saying a parable to the crowd. And are we okay with that? All right.
Yes.
Right.
The only
Dissect it.
problem is I just realized my workbook has oiko instead of aklo, so I'm going to change that, and that's actually what the textbook has too for that sentence. So I'm just correcting this. Okay, I didn't catch that until just now.
Dissect and parse ginoskosin. It's a verb in the present tense, active voice, indicative mood, third person plural, lexical forms gnosko, stem is gnosk, ending usin, connecting vowel I put u, just kind of,
Or
and subject is we are the sons.
okay. Or if we didn't have weoi, we would just say the subject is.
Sons. Oh,
No, if we didn't have that.
it would be. I would be you all.
No, not you.
No, sons. They.
They.
Right.
They. And I noticed when Peggy was translating her verbs, she was doing that. This is something that both my Greek professors had us do, is they always had us bring out the ending, the subject of the ending, in addition to a subject that actually was given in a sentence. It's not necessary, but it's good. It's a good habit to get into when you're thinking about translating, just to think in terms of what the verb itself tells you. Okay.
That's what I do when I see the verb as the very first word of the sentence.
Oh, sure.
That's why sometimes I'll say he or I, then also you read a noun after it, the subject noun right after it, right?
Okay.
So. And there also could be a a genitive ablative with that as well, Anyway, in the sentence, entolane follows genoskosine and parabolane follows legosine. What are the nouns in? What case are the nouns in? And what is significance of the case? I put accusative, and I put there the object of the action. They're the direct objects, right? So I put accusative.
Correct.
Is oclo dative, locative, or instrumental? What is the significance of these three named cases? I put dative. It's dative. And if the significance of these cases would be, well, if it's dative, it's reception. If it's locative, it'd be telling the location, and instrumental would be telling you by the means of.
Okay, very good. Peggy.
Wait a minute.
Nope.
Writing something down.
Right in there.
Okay. Okay. Elosin, legine, tane. Alethean, taste, and tales. They wish or desire to speak the truth of or about the command or commandment.
Okay.
They wish, desire to speak the truth of or about the command.
Okay.
What part of speech is legine? It's infinitive. What is the significance of this part of speech? It's a hybrid. It's a verb / noun. Is that a good enough answer? Because I don't understand infinitives.
Sure. And
This is part verb and part noun.
Yeah.
and in this case, it really kind of brings out a little bit of you really see the hybrid nature of it, because they desire what? To speak. And so there's a purpose. So when you get on a little bit further in Greek, you end up realizing one of the ways that infinitives are used is oftentimes to express purpose. What's your purpose? Your purpose is to speak. Your purpose is to go, or something like that.
Okay, cool.
So you really see the verbal and the nominal sense both.
So why is the ending of aletheon alpha and nu, and the article is tame? Why is the word not spelled alethein? Okay, so the stem ends with an iota, and it's in the singular accusative case.
Very good.
It's not alethein, because the stem doesn't end with the sigma, double lambda, zeta, psi.
Okay. Very good.
Drop, mic drop, sorry.
Do you know what, though? You're giving a very thorough answer, which is a
Yes.
good thing to do, because it helps you think through all the details.
Oh, I'm not done, okay. And tales could be either genitive or ablative. In what case is this word used in the sentence, and what is the significance of this use? Well, I chose genitive because the command didn't send out the truth. No, yeah. It's not ablative because the command didn't send out the truth. And it's genitive, sort of acting like an adjective. It modifies truth.
Okay. And the way I frequently translate genitives, just for clarity, in a case like this, I would say the truth consisting of the command. I realize I'm adding some language there, but I do that kind of for clarity with that kind of a genitive.
Wait, consisting
They
of.
Consisting of the command.
The truth consisting of the command.
Yes.
Wait.
Quality of command.
Yeah, so we just have the truth of the command. And I add consisting of for clarity. You don't have to have all.
Like that.
Help clear that up for me.
I don't like that. I'm not
Oh,
putting that
well,
in.
it's the truth. What truth? It's the truth, specifically the truth that consists of a command.
So I actually translated it from the command.
The truth that comes from the command.
Oh, so you did.
And what would
Right.
be your defense of translating it that way?
It makes more sense.
Well, you're going to have to wrestle with Peggy in that regard, 'cause Peg thought it doesn't make sense. So,
Well, so what is it then?
I would say, Janet, in my, again, without context, I would say it makes more sense to say that the truth is being modified by the word command rather than the truth coming from the command.
Because ablative, is it always, there's a source and it's sending it out? No, yes.
Not all the time.
Okay, well then
Yeah.
I get where she says.
Yeah, it's not always that way.
Right.
So
So
the
is there
command
actually
true.
a difference between truth coming from the command or the truth of
Yeah.
the command?
Because if you handled entelace as an ablative, you could be saying they desire to speak the truth that, I just had the word there in my brain, it's gone. The truth that derives from the command, in other words.
So that could be ablative.
Yeah.
That could be,
Out from the command or something?
Yeah. derives is just, we're just expanding the
That just
ablative
makes
sense.
more sense to me.
Okay, so again, without context, this is going to be one that's going to be hard and you're going to have to defend it.
I can see that. I can see the.
I'm quite sure, I didn't look at the back of the book to see how they translated this.
I did, and they said it's of.
So
They translated it of.
So they have the truth of the command, which again, of is nebulous. If you look up of in an English dictionary, it has a lot of meanings or usages. So,
You just demonstrated it
Yeah.
right there with that sentence.
because even of in English sometimes has an ablative sense. Yeah, I'm of the Norwegian descent, or we could say I'm from Norwegian descent. So, okay, let's move on then to number 10.
Okay, I'm almost done with it, so
Mm-hmm.
that works out really well. Ton kurian blepai ha angelos kai genoskai ten hemeran irenes. And I think, and I did not check this one yet, but I think what it says is the Lord sees the messenger and he knows piece of the day.
Okay, so
You did get this one?
let's
Oh.
okay, so you started, what is your subject?
The Lord.
Okay, and actually, if you go
Oh, it's
to,
not.
It's not.
Stop.
That's it.
Wait, the messenger, dang it. The messenger sees the Lord
Mhm.
and he knows the day of peace.
And this is
That
really
makes
interesting.
way more sense.
And this is
Yeah.
really interesting because my workbook actually has the words in that order. I think it's better the way the textbook in your workbook has it, because it makes you do the work of thinking, of realizing that these words can occur in
Yeah.
different orders.
I like that better. Okay. Knows the day of peace. Okay. What is the subject of Genoskai? Well, the messenger.
Okay.
Not the Lord. On what do you base your answer? And it's, wow, I just get those words mixed up. It's because it's in the nominative case. And ha angelos is the nominative case, which makes it the subject of the sentence. Why are tone and tain both accusative, singular, definite articles and spelled differently? Because they are definite articles of different gendered nouns. Tone is a masculine definite article and tain is a feminine definite article.
Very good.
And the gender determines the definite article, not the declension.
Mhm.
Nice.
I didn't write all that, but I.
Nice.
Okay, locate irenes. So that's our word for peace, and it is a noun. In the, what did we decide? Genitive case, right?
Mhm.
Singular. It is a feminine noun. The lexical form is irene, and the declension is first. Oh, you want to know the function in the sentence? The function is in the sentence. I mean, is it an adjective?
Yeah, it kind of has an adjectival sense, yes. Because it's the day of peace, the day characterized by peace. There's another way that sometimes when
Oh, yeah.
these are modifying, yeah. Okay. We move on.
Is there another one for me? Nope.
Nope. Okay, Joe, number 11 here, please.
Okay, number 11. Akuete tain didaken ton.
Nope. Got it again.
Oh, no. To. Matheta. Huh?
T.
Okay, so start with
Two.
there we go.
Mathetu kai genoskete tain doxon tes basileus.
Okay.
And that one I wrote, you all hear the teaching or the doctrine of the disciple, and you all know the glory of the kingdom.
Okay.
Dissect and parse akuete. It's a verb, present active indicative, second person plural. Lexical form is akuo. Stem is aku. Ending is ete. Connecting vowel is u. Sorry.
No.
No. A.
Say it again.
Epsilon.
There we go.
Okay. And subject is you all.
Okay. Good. Very good.
Okay. Why is the ending of those son on and the article tain? Why is the word not spelled doxane? Okay. I put the endings are first declension feminine noun. In so accusative singular endings, right? So
Correct.
doxa, the stem ending is in C, or
Yep.
that's what I wrote.
So it's stem ends in psi. So
Psi.
Yeah. So sigma double lambda, or the double consonants. Say psi or psi. Yeah.
It's the ending, right? Psi.
That's right. Very good. Peggy.
Isn't it time? No.
One more.
We can get another one in here.
Okay, fine. Hoi prophetai. Yes. Legusin lacus aletheia oxlois anthropon.
That was a good one.
Anthropon. Okay. The prophets, they are speaking words of truth or concerning truth to crowds of men. That was a fun one. Okay, so locate prophetai, which is prophets. It's a noun. It's nominative case, plural number. The function is it's the subject, the feminine gender, lexical. What?
Look back in the sentence.
Oh, whoops. Oopsie. It's masculine.
Masculine gender. Very good.
And the lexical form is prophete. Declension is first. First declension,
Okay.
right?
It is first declension, but the lexical form is not correct.
Of course not.
So.
Oh,
Just wait, don't
It's
change
a,
it.
it's
Look, here's our masculine endings. So what would be the nominative form? The nominative form is
tie, prophet.
No,
no,
Oh, wait, what? What?
singular.
your lexical form. Lexical, nominative, singular.
Singular.
It's plural.
I know,
The
but if you
lexical
looked it up in
form.
a lexicon, in the dictionary, it's not going to be listed under
Prophetes.
prophetes. Okay, so it should be prophetes.
Fun. Okay, is alethias, genitive singular feminine. Okay, it's genitive singular feminine. That's the one I chose. Because the stem, how can you be sure? Because the stem ends in iota, ending is us. Yes,
Yes.
cool. All right, just want to make sure. Oxlois is dative.
Can
Well,
you try that word again?
let me go. Let's go back to the alethias again, though,
What?
because there were. Does your textbook only give you two options?
No.
Because it gives us three: genitive, ablative, or accusative. Okay, so you went with genitive, but why is it not? Why do you think it's not ablative? Just if it was ablative, you'd translate it.
Well, just let me go back up there.
It does have accusative plural is the third option. It does say.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
It could be any of those.
if it would be words from truth, which could maybe be, but probably it's better genitive that you did. So in other words, I'm just trying to make, you got to think through.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
It's the not just the ending, because it could have been accusative plural, but it's also because of, like it said, you even said it's concerning the truth. So it's a quality of,
Right.
makes it genitive.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not, they're speaking words. So words is already your object. And alethias then is modifying it. So you're not having a double object there. Okay.
See, Peg, you're getting very, very technical with the endings, but sometimes endings have the same endings, whether it's plural, accusative, or genitive, singular, feminine.
I just don't know.
So you have to, yeah.
Okay. And then number C, Peggy.
What?
See.
Oh, okay.
Question C.
Oxlois.
Good job.
What did I say before?
Oxlois.
I always say ox because it's ox, man. Oxlois. Okay.
That's what I do.
I have it dated because the crowds receive the action of the words of truth spoken.
Okay.
Yes.
And there's your answer.
I saved it.
Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences that we will cover Tuesday morning.
Excellent.
4 sentences will covered. Remember then over the weekend to continue to practice your endings at least once a day, doing that very repetitive, on, repeating them like that, and try to repeat them at least 5 times in a row, back to back, 10, 20 times. What's that going to hurt? If you're by yourself, you won't be driving anybody else nuts listening to it. So,
I'm never by myself.
just don't do it when you're walking down the aisle at the grocery store. Okay.
She might be by herself. That's the only time she's by herself.
Oh, okay.
Right. That might be the only time I'm ever by myself.
So we'll come back and we'll pick those up. Let me make a little mark because I don't always remember where we left off. I don't mark my workbook up. I always do my answers on a separate
got
page of paper. So what?
I got it.
You got it. So
Got
okay. Any other questions here at the end?
Heavy size.
Questions? No.
Okay. Well then, have a good weekend.
Bye, Joe. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great weekend.
We see you Sunday.
This Sunday, no, I'm working.
Oh,
I usually are able to catch barely the last study. That's it.
Okay. So when you work, do you usually work mornings then?
Right now,